someone's put up there, and it's just a thought. For my sake, it was right. Here it is on Google Earth. It's there in front of me. I don't think Google's going to tell a lie that in fact this town isn't really there. It's in Australia. So I was very sort of sort of methodical about it and diplomatic about it, and I thought, well, there's the way that I usually do things, and it's to consolidate. I don't know, a statement or whatever it may be, is I look at it three ways. Number one would be, here it is, I see it on Google Earth. Number two is I went onto Facebook and went to the hometown, which is my hometown, Kandwa is my hometown, and I asked the administrator of that page, does certain places exist? And it came back with, all positive answers. So that's the second consolidation. And the third was I went onto YouTube and I typed in Kandwa, and there was a guy, and there was a multitude of people that had gone past Kandwa with a camcorder, and I was going, well, this is in 720 and 1080 definition, and it's like, well, there's the train station, there's the bridge that's going over the railway, and everything just married up. I know I would be a bit apprehensive about, I'd sort of also, here it is on Google Earth, but really, I mean, I'm seeing it. I don't know, I'm not sure I'm going to believe it, but I really have to go there to see it myself in reality. But that's the way sort of I do things. It's I find it, at least three different ways to sort of consolidate a fact about something, not just take it on, so straight away. You're right about it. You got to know, how do you know that information's true? So the thing to do there to combat that is to find, different sort of blogs about it, or search in a different way. And if they all sort of marry up together and they all sort of sound together, well, how many more times do you need to sort of search on the same topic? And you may be able to find more stuff. And the more information you find about it, the better sort of equipped you are and harnessed with information. So for me, that's the way that I did it, and it worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, there was this guy, I'm sure you guys also have some friends, who like to put everything up on Facebook, at the Taj Bengal, at Fleury's, this airport, that airport. But you'd probably not post if you're having some food at the roadside dhaba, those kind of people. So there was this guy who was posting everything, and he sort of announced to the world that he's at the Calcutta airport and he's going out of town. So, and he had friended a guy who actually then robbed him because he knew that the house was empty. Now, yeah, it's a true story. And so, so you have that power in your hands today to actually sort of act what you want to be. I have set up 2 businesses, and I've realized that if you want, as a small guy, you can act big. And even if you become big, if you want to act small, the internet gives you that power to act as you want to be. So I would agree to a large extent to what the question was, that yes, to some extent, it's a bag full of lies, and I think nothing can beat good old reference check and find out, okay, how's this guy, is this information correct? So I would say that, sprinkle a bit of good old reference check as well with your internet research. So anytime, don't rely completely on net-based research. Yeah.
Is there any, yeah. Run like the wind.
You said that you think, we don't think, and we do not get bored. Yeah.
Okay.
So what makes you think that we don't think and we don't get bored?
Huh. Sorry, what was the question?
What makes you think that we don't think and that we don't get bored?
I think you get bored of the same Angry Birds and you want to download a new game. So,
see, I think you developed the
capacity. I don't think he meant that.
No, I did mean that.
Did you?
Yeah. But I didn't mean you specifically, right? Yeah.
Everyone here.
No, I mean, see, all generalizations are false, including this one. But I'm sure, it's possible for you to think and to get bored, but if we are to make broad and sweeping generalizations about your generation, it's very difficult for you to find the time to either think or get bored. And of course, when I make that generalization, this is a sweeping ignoring of the fact that there are millions of people in the world out there your age who don't have access to any of this technology, who are living lives that are from 1,000 years ago and whose conditions we're not even thinking about sitting here in the Martiniere Boy. So let's not take it that seriously.
But our generation was so dumb.
Our generation was, I didn't say we thought, but we got bored.
So
after that, we listened to.
You should say that our generation
Michael
was,
Learns to Rock and things like that,
yeah,
which wasn't the same as thinking.
we listened to Wham and had that kind of crazy hairstyle.
That speak for yourself.
But our generation was pretty proactive too, you know. I mean, families got together, went and played, we sort of made up things, went on picnics. You know, we were always very active, playing sports and stuff like that.
Well, my friends and I didn't do much actually. We
See,
just
my friends and I were actually pretty dull, but we try and get over the disappointment of not having had the internet by saying, oh, we thought a lot. We didn't.
we also went to book fair and had puchka. That's all
So see, it was a simpler time in the sense that I was just, I was going, when Sarnath came back to Delhi, we met and we went to this market too, because Sarnath wanted to buy shoes. He does this from time to time. And while he was buying shoes, I got bored. So I was wandering around the market. And then we had this long discussion on, so I'll text you after I finish buying the shoe, and then you let me know where you are, then we'll meet. And we were just thinking that as children, right, we wandered around everywhere all the time. And no one cared where anyone else was because we weren't so frantically insecure about what if we lose each other forever, right? We'll just go home, it doesn't matter. But in the post-internet age, just this ability to know where everyone is and what they're doing all the time makes people so insecure and so paranoid. And you have to know, right? You have to know what's going on or you lose some fundamental part of yourself. So our generation was okay with not knowing. Whether that makes us better or worse off is a judgment call. Yeah. I think there was a question at the back before this. Yeah.
big one coming.
Local heroes. See, these things don't change, right? You can read what's happening in the school.
As you spoke about how the internet actually does not make us think that much because when we get bored.
I mean very personally, all of you.
Yeah, I mean we get bored and we just switch to another app. In our generation, we have something called multitasking, which a lot of us have become better acquainted with due to the internet, right? So don't you feel that by
Let me just check my Facebook while I hear the rest of your question.
Don't you feel that
No, go on.
Don't you feel that by encouraging this multitasking, our generation is actually becoming more smarter rather than actually degenerating in a way?
Yeah. Okay. Then. No, but to answer your question properly, see, the thing is that the change the internet is bringing on the human mind is happening to every generation. So what happens is that this multitasking ability is something that we are gaining as well, right? Though with less aptitude and with less speed than you are, because just like when you're younger is the best time to learn a new language, your brains are fundamentally wired very different from the pre-broadband generation's brains. So yes, you will be more effective multitaskers. Yes, you will process information much better. You will be much more different from people 10 years or 15 years older than you than they were from people 10 years or 15 years older than them. So what we're talking about is evolution is accelerated. That's all there is to it. I'm sure all of you are deep thinkers and deep feelers. And when I say that, you get bored faster and you think less, I'm actually saying I get bored faster and I think less now post-internet. And I'm sure since you're growing up in this world, it must be the same way for you. Yeah. Sorry, yeah,
I just think it's so controversial, this whole topic.
I think, it's good. These guys are intelligent. And the fact is, I agree with, the rate of change is changing so dramatically. There's this movie called Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen that? And then he moves all these screens on this big screen. This was, I think, about 7 years back. And today, our houses are being designed like that, on a screen. For us, at that point in time, it was like the Star Wars of our time, This is like in some 3020. So, but it all happened in the last 7 years. When we were growing up, when we were kids, our fathers and mothers had this dream of you becoming an engineer or a doctor and nothing else. Otherwise, you're not a man. But today, I have no expectation from my daughters, because you have no clue what, even you guys, actually, I'm sure you've made up your mind. But the way things are changing is amazing. So, so I think we have to all accept and embrace that, and just be a little careful about things. I think that's all.
You've got to go with the transition. This is 2014, not 1974.
Yeah.
And we're going into, the cyber world and the, of electronics, and it's consuming us. So, the people that sort of resist will fall behind, and the people that sort of, go with it will flourish, I guess. So, but, like again, that's controversial too, So there's so much to talk about, and the goods and the bads about it. Because when I was growing up in Australia, we were very, I want to watch the TV. And, Dad would go and Mum would go, no, go outside and do something with your friends. So the way that I was brought up was very, sort of outside and with activities and friends and stuff like that. But, some people, whilst in the same sort of era as myself, they watched a lot of TV, so they were glued to it. And, and I guess, the thing about the person that was watching a lot of TV and myself was that I was sort of, mingling with, socialising with other people, and sort of educated myself and of how to socialise and have a conversation and talk to people and have a good time. These days, perhaps you can see it yourself when you're out there, that we're almost sort of walking in a pseudo society where everyone's very sort of self-obsessed, and it's like, who are you? Who are you? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to my iPhone or something like that. And where when I was growing up, it wasn't sort of like that. It case to the point with all of us, really. We were very sort of sociable people that we can all have a conversation, regardless what age you are, from, parents to children. You walk out of the door of someone's house and say, that was a really good night. So, things have changed quite a lot when the internet's come on, and it's sort of, whether it's good or for the bad, but, you'd have to go with it, otherwise you're going to fall behind.
Yeah. And, I think, having said that, with the possible exception of Sarnath, we're all the most pro-internet people whatsoever. And even Sarnath is more a put-up thing than a genuine fear and loathing of the internet. There was a question coming from there, I believe. Yeah. Just want to ask the organizers how much time. Thanks.
I'm one of those, not pro-internet guys too. So yeah.
Is it a stand you take? Is it fashionable? Is it like a...
Nah, I don't really think this to be fashionable, but let's just say necessary, especially when your exams are around the corner.
Fair enough.
Well, there is no doubt internet has made things very, very easier to approach and access. But don't you think that with that easiness of approach and access, it has degraded the value of those things you're trying to access or approach?
Pick someone.
For example, interpersonal relationships, for example. Like now they have relationships over Facebook, which in reality are really, really unrealistic. So, I mean, do you really think it's all good and no bad?
Who should answer?
General.
No, pick someone.
I pick Mr. Australian.
That's interpersonal relationships in a nutshell for you.
Well, I guess there's some truth in that. We all do it. Sort of, it's how realistic is a relationship on cyberspace. And, I mean, I guess you're not going to feel feel the same thing as you would in reality. So I don't know. I think we all do it. I mean, it's I guess at the end of the day is when you start having I'm referring to a relationship with someone. You start it at the start, and then it progresses into let's meet up. It's like, well, you know, do you like this? Do I like that? I don't think we I don't think we gel in certain areas. I don't think I'm going to sort of pursue of meeting up in a relationship with you or anything like that. So, yeah, that's a really difficult area. It's like, well, you know, on Facebook you've got a lot of friends as well, and you talk to a lot of friends, and you know, sometimes you meet up with an old school friend for just over a coffee or something, and that progresses.
He has someone special. He has someone special.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
The lady had a question.
Only joking.
We had a
joking.
question here. I think then we'll wrap. See, we have 2 more minutes of the finger allotted 5. So what we'll do is we'll let her ask her question, and then we'll still be around for a while. So okay, the mic's headed there.
Technology.
Today's youngsters are so much into the internet today. It's like become a necessary evil. It's a vital source of information. Don't you think like not being online is like closing your ears and your eyes towards the world?
Who are you asking this to?
I'm asking it to you people.
No, but see, we're all online all the time. We're all online all the time. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to take a break from the internet from time to time, because it lets you kind of reassess your flesh life priorities. But yeah, I think turning away from the internet is a futile idea, because it's just a more and more important part of our lives.
But when you're in a business like I am, I've got to be online all the time, because there's customers and there's people sending you emails and messages about a certain product or whatever. So, in fact,
you know, it's a part and parcel of our lives, and you said ears and eyes, right? But the fact is, it was not set up to be a part of our body. It was set up as a tool which you could use to access information. I'll just give you an example. Internet has helped medical science a lot. Today, you can actually do robotic operations in another country over the internet. The robotic arms would actually do that. So the IT guys are today working on a system whereby people cannot hack into your system and make a operation go wrong, or prosthetic arms which have got chips in them. You should not be able to hack into somebody's arm and then cause an accident and cause death. So these are issues. So I think the fine line has to be there has to be boundary, some line, and I think that responsibility rests with us, and we should not expect suddenly that the internet will improve and there'll be policing around. I don't think that's going to happen. So it's up to us. Moral policing has to be done by us.
Listen, I mean, I'm having a great deal of fun, but we're really out of time. So let me just wrap this quickly. Thank you very much, KLM. Thank you very much, LMB. We're all on the internet. If there's a pressing question, just ask us. We're here for a while in the flesh world too, so ask us then. So you want to ask the question right now?
Hello.
This is...
Yeah, my question is to Samit. As a fantasy writer...
Sandeep?
Samit.
Okay, that's me.
To you. So,
listen, why don't you, let's wrap, ask me off.
Yeah, just a very small question.
Okay.
What do you think that how this community faking, does effect on fantasy, say subconsciously on the, the mind of the people to create the fantasy?
In very strange and unique ways. There's a lovely film out now called Her, directed by Spike Jonze. It deals a lot with this question on the imagination and cyberspace and what it does to all of us. So I think you should watch that film, because it's 1.5 hours to answer your question, which I certainly can't do in the next 5 seconds. But yeah, if you have an active imagination, then the internet is going to be like a drug to you. And so that's what it's like for anyone who works in these fields. Right, thank you very much. We're off.
Do we still have time to ask that question? Because it's a serious question that we are dealing with, and especially with Saroo, and he was in our home as a child when he was picked up from the streets of Calcutta. We had him in our home for a little bit of time. The question I have is, do people, when they go on to search routes, etc., do you think it through? Because as a home, as a foundling home, we face a lot of questions now that if Saroo has found his mother, can we? And at the age of 18, when adoptive parents come to us, I mean the adopted children come to us, and we are extremely apprehensive of giving them their addresses because I'm not sure if the mother wants to be found. In your case, your mother lost you and she was delighted to find you. But in the cases where maybe the mother doesn't want to be found, and what do you suggest? I mean, do these searches and do these points, do you really think it through that once I've achieved that, once